Good afternoon. Rick here with Rick and Deb's Awesome Adventures. I'm here at Island Park this afternoon because I am doing an experiment with different settings on some of my cameras. I just did one on my 4K camera earlier. Now I'm back and I'm going to do one with my Brave 4 Pro action camera. Actually, what I've got this set on is 4K 30 frames per second. And of course I've got on a 1080p 60. I tried 1080p 30 the other day and it didn't turn out quite what I liked. But we're going to go out and we're going to look around a little bit and do a walk and talk and just enjoy the afternoon. So, if you're not doing anything this afternoon, oh, by the way, it is Sunday afternoon. It is about 3:15. It's probably in the low 60s. There's hardly any wind at all for a change. That makes it really nice. So, if you're not doing anything this afternoon, well, come on along and join me as we explore and do a walk and talk here at Island Park. Okay, so here we go. Another thing I'm doing different today is I'm using a different kind of stabilizer. I've got several different types. So I've been using, I think I've used three different types, and now I'm using this one. Just to see if I get a better stabilization of the video. I want to see if this is going to be any more crisp and clear like it should be for a 4K action camera. But that's really basically it. We're just going to kind of walk around here, enjoy the beauty here of Island Park. I do notice one thing that's been added, well, I think fairly recently because the ground is still all dug up. Yeah, it just seems like they're always doing something new out here. But that's okay. That's good. Yeah, that's fairly recent because you can still see the tire tracks there in the dirt. And this is what's been added. This says IP17 on it. And there's there's two more down there, and then there's another one down here. Let's go see what it says. And all this area has been recently dug up. Now, they were down here last week, and they had this whole thing pretty much blocked off from about right in this area here on down because they were putting these in. Now, this says IP18. I'm assuming by looks of it, it looks as though some kind of electrical box, because there's a flap. You pull that flap up and there's probably connections. Because see, they do, they put on some different events down here, and they were probably needing better or more hookups for some of these events that goes on during the year. But anyway, I think we'll walk down this way for a change. Now, this particular stabilizer is a telescoping stabilizer, which means I could take this action camera and put it in my waterproof case and do some underwater videos. I've not done any of those yet. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about doing that. I have been kind of sort of wanting to. I mean, it's just I don't want to ruin they're supposed to be waterproof. But the problem of it is, of course, you wouldn't need any sound underwater, I guess. But when you've got your camera in these waterproof cases, there's no sound. Or there's very, 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 very little sound. So I don't know. I'm still debating on that. I do have two action cameras. I've got an older one that I've had now for quite some time, and I got this newer one I'm using today. This one has a few more options on it. It's got slow motion. It's got the front and rear facing lens, which makes it really nice. And like I said in my previous video I did just a few minutes ago, I found out by doing some research, my Columbo-like research, that in order to do the slow motion, you have to have your resolution set at 720p. Well, I totally did not know that. Because when I've tried to go slow motion, if I'm in 180p, like either the 180p 30 frames per second or the 180p 60 frames per second, I could not get the slow motion to work. Well, that's why. It has to be in 720p. So that's something that I would like to try. I wish the wind would have been like this a couple of days ago when we did I did a tour of two smaller towns and did an old bridge. Well, it was just pretty windy that day. You know, it wasn't horribly bad, but it was probably around 15-20 mile an hour. You know. So, at any rate. I thought about doing this tomorrow, and I thought, no, it's already warmed up, because now, the way the weather is now, you have to wait until the middle of the day before it gets warm. This morning, it was below freezing, believe it or not. It was cold this morning. And then, you know, I got down here about 2:30, and it was already in the lower 60s. But, well, I think it was like 62 degrees. So, but, you know, that's just the way it is right now. You know, we're in our last few days of April. I am really hoping that as we get into May, we're going to start having more what I would call real spring. Like whether or not this, you know, like 30 degrees at night and taking all day long to get warm. That's crazy. And it's supposed to rain as of right now, as of the recording of this video, Tuesday and Wednesday. Like it's like 70% on Tuesday, and then I think it's like 60% on Wednesday. That's as of right now. But however, those of you that lived in Kansas all your life knows that if you don't like the weather, hang around for a few minutes, because it will change, and it does change. I could get home later today and look at my weather app, and it would all be changed. So you just never know. I thought we'd sit down here for a minute and enjoy the waterfall. Okay, I've got 4 times zoom on this, so I zoomed out a little way. Well, as far as I could zoom out. what I'm going to have to do is find something that I get close enough to do a slow motion video on, and then I've got to stop it. I've got to put it on 720p and then put it in slow motion mode. It's kind of a hassle, but you know, that's just the way this camera works. I am so hoping that this turns out to be a better video. The one I did a couple of days ago, it wasn't totally bad, but it wasn't up to par, I don't think, for 4K. So I'm hoping that this 4K 30 frames per second is going to turn out to be a much better video. That's what I really hope. Of course, I won't know until, you know, I get home and I get everything uploaded and then go from there. And see, the thing of it is, I did some research, and what I read was it was recommended to do your 1080p 30 frames per second for a normal video. Well, I did that, and I really wish I would just left it on 1080p 60 frames per second. So I thought, you know what, I use that one all the time, the latter one, the 60 frames per second. So I thought, well, why don't I put this on 4K 30 frames per second and see what I get. Yeah. I'll walk on around here a little bit. And this waterfall does help keep this lagoon stirred up, at least this area. They need to put one on the other side of the park. Like directly across from us, they need to put in another waterfall. But they've not done it. They probably won't. This waterfall has been here for, oh gosh, years. Years and years and years. I can't even tell you, 10 or 20 years. It's been here a long time. But at any rate, I'm just seeing between the 4K 30 frames per second and the stabilizer that I'm using, I'm just hoping I get a much clearer, much steadier video. I've got, oh gosh, 4 or 5 other kinds of stabilizers, and I do use them from time to time. Now this particular stabilizer I've not used for a while, but I thought, what the heck, I'll change the settings, I'll use the stabilizer, and we'll see what we get. We do plan on going on a adventure. I'm not going to give out any spoilers or give any dates, because things go wrong, things happen, life happens, nature happens. So if everything goes as planned, we're going to be going on another adventure here pretty soon. I am doing these videos back to back. I just did one with my other camera. Now I'm using my 4K. But for those of you that may not watch that other one, if I've mentioned this already, then please forgive me. But just here a day or two ago, I reached 500 subscribers, and that means a lot to me. It really does. Just so thrilled that many people enjoy our videos enough to subscribe. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you that have subscribed. And I thank the ones that watch our videos and do not subscribe. I do. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out and just thank you all for watching. And to my subscribers, again, I just thank you so much. Yep. Well, I think we're going to turn around here and go the other way. This probably won't be very long. Maybe 30-minute video. This is just for fun. This is just for an experiment. This is just to see how much clearer, brighter, steadier this video might be. And this is such a pretty place to do it. Island Park has always been very pretty. Especially today, it's just incredibly beautiful. So I'm hoping that shows out on the video. We'll walk on down this way a little bit. Now this tree, the trunk is white. That's not normal. That's not normal. It's just they don't have no bark on it. Check that out. It must have a disease or something because it's literally devoid. I mean, it's got a little bit of bark down here, but then as you go up the tree trunk, it's just devoid of any kind of bark. So it has some kind of problem that I'm not aware of. I'm not a tree expert. I mean, clear up the top, there's just no bark. But think of this, it'll look like it's got leaves on it and everything, but I don't know, it's crazy. But, like I said, I am not a tree expert by any means. That table's, I'm not sure what that's made out of. It's not wood. It might be that plastic that they use. I'm not real sure. Here's another one that is void of bark. It's got a little tiny bit right down here at the base of the tree, but then the rest of it is just bare as it can be. Wow. I really don't have any idea. That's different. Just kind of pan around here a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what, if this works, I'll just leave it on the same setting. This 4K 30 frames per second. The park is also really pretty in the fall. I try to take pictures. I don't think I've done a fall video yet. I need to do that. I just got the blue sky, the white puffy clouds, the green trees. I'll walk down here to the lagoon again. The nature trail over there looks like it's really busy today. People are exploring. They're out exploring their world. If y'all have a park, a nature trail in your area, boy, I tell you what, today would be the day to go explore it. I tell you what. I mean, if it's nice weather in your neck of the woods, like it is here. Oh, now this is interesting. Look at that. Just comes right out of the ground. Just two tubes. I don't think I remember seeing that like that before. And then again, it's probably because the water is a little bit lower, or a lot lower than what it normally is. That's different. Huh. I've never noticed that before. A couple of ducks out in the water. Wish I had a bench right here. That would have been nice. Okay. Well, tell you what, I think we're going to call it a day. I'm anxious to see how well this turns out. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Please remember to go out and explore your world. Have fun, but be safe. That's the most important. But get out and go places you haven't been before, or revisit places you've been before. You never know what you might see for the first time. You just never know. So having said that, I think we will say goodbye for now. And like I always say, we will see you on the next video. So, goodbye for now. I'll walk down here to the lagoon again. The nature trail over there looks like it's really busy today. People are exploring. They're out exploring their world. If y'all have a park, a nature trail in your area, boy, I tell you what, today would be the day to go explore it. I tell you what. I mean, if it's nice weather in your neck of the woods, like it is here. Oh, now this is interesting. Look at that. Just comes right out of the ground. Just two tubes. I don't think I remember seeing that like that before. And then again, it's probably because the water is a little bit lower, or a lot lower than what it normally is. That's different. Huh. I've never noticed that before. A couple of ducks out in the water. Wish I had a bench right here. That would have been nice. Okay. Well, tell you what, I think we're going to call it a day. I'm anxious to see how well this turns out. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Please remember to go out and explore your world. Have fun, but be safe. That's the most important. But get out and go places you haven't been before, or revisit places you've been before. You never know what you might see for the first time. You just never know. So having said that, I think we will say goodbye for now. And like I always say, we will see you on the next video. So, goodbye for now.